in any matchup with any deck, if you know how to mulligan, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape in that game. If you don't know how to mulligan, then God bless your soul.
And StrifeCro definitely does not.
Yeah. But really great win there with the Cthulhu Druid. And now the Rat's going to have to go back to the drawing board with this Hunter deck and think, okay, where can I find a win with this deck now? StrifeCro, that Mage might be a little bit of an issue there. Usually does well against those types of decks. Well, I don't know. Hunter might be good. You do have Polymorphs most likely, if it's the deck that I'm thinking of for the Savannah High mains. But Rat's going to throw out the Hunter again. It's going to go up against Zoo, which is one of the worst matchups for this deck.
Yeah, it can get pretty brutal, but there is some light in this tunnel where if Huge Toad ends up hitting the right minions, you can actually eventually establish a curve. And if you establish your curve, it's really tough for Zoo to come back unless they just have Power Overwhelmings in the right target. So I don't really blame the Rat for going with this here. If StrifeCro's queuing up at random, which I think he often does, it doesn't matter if he's trying to put a particular deck in a particular deck. The only time that picks ever really matter is if both players are trying to choose what deck they actually want to line up. If either player is deciding to queue up at random, then there's no advantage to either player, regardless of what you queue up. Throws away the Power Overwhelming, and honestly, I was a little bit surprised by that because of how powerful it is with these Possessed Villagers. And he gets it right back.
Well, now it's the Rat's turn to 4-keep, which that's a solid hand. Huge Toad into Elec, into Animal Companion, into Houndmaster. And Quickshot sort of just adds an extra layer of utility to this draw. So I definitely like this play.
Yeah, StrifeCro's got not too shabby of an opener himself, though, with these double Possessed Villagers. Part of the problem with this is that it threatens Knife Juggler so hard from StrifeCro that the Rat may be concerned with that. And his hand doesn't really have any way to be concerned with that. StrifeCro actually going to choose the life tap here. And that's great news for the Rat. I mean, I don't think he could have seen anything better for him other than that life tap right now.
Yeah, I mean, StrifeCro might be thinking, hey, this is a slower version, like a slower deck. You know, it doesn't curve out well. He realizes that he has time, but yeah, you do have time, but not that much time. Tapping on turn 2 is... he could have made a play. Well, I mean, I guess his deck was his hand was incredibly bad, but he could have like Power Overwhelming traded in and kept that 1/1 alive and preserved got a Possessed Villager out with it.
Yeah, I mean, the tap's sort of a nod to the fact that he had Leroy in hand, which is just purely dead right now. I mean, if he doesn't actually establish the damage, the Leroy literally is just not going to do anything this game.
Yeah.
So showing a major concern with that. So Possessed Villager, and I'm guessing he's going to just add the Crazed Alchemist to this, yep. And just go face and try to look for that Defender of Argus next turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty likely to have something stick onto the board, but we're getting to the stage now where the Rat's just putting on a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good turn here from StrifeCro too. This is set up for Councilman and the Power Overwhelming next turn, kind of illustrating the importance of Power Overwhelming in this matchup. And since he rolled Leok, this is going to be all face damage, and now Defender of Argus is set up to make some fantastic trades here for StrifeCro. This is the one spot where Argent Squire is better than Possessed Villager is with the Defender of Argus.
But how great of a position does it put you in? You're trading in, but you're losing sort of the taunts.
Yeah, I think, well, also, this version of Hunter doesn't have quite the same burst. It does have the quick shots, does have kill commands, and eventually Call of the Wild, but it's not like it's running Wolf Rider.
Arcane Golem.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, rip Arcane Golem. It doesn't have. It's not the face Hunter builds. So they do have to draw like in a particular way. And with the 2 Power Overwhelmings, if he takes these trades, he kind of contains this board quite a bit. But just like you mentioned, though, I mean, losing the taunt effect is clearly a concern to him at this point. So it's going to be Power Overwhelming. It looks like he's taking out Leok.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like this play even a little bit better.
Whoa. That's face. Oh, no, face Toad. I'm surprised on the Toad. And now the Rat, this is certainly Houndmaster. I mean, I cannot imagine not Houndmastering on this turn.
Yeah.
And It's got to trade. Oh, he's not trading with the council.
He's on the face plan. Yes.
Well, I mean, with 2 quick shots in the Tiger, honestly, I think this is better. And the Rat may have read this as StrifeCro does not have Defender of Argus, given what just happened.
It's a bold call, though. Because this turn, StrifeCro can Power Overwhelming, trade, Defender of Argus, and then start getting his own damage in. And then the Rat has to have a 1 turn to deal with the taunt or develop like Stranglethorn Tiger, and then another turn to try and burst down. He doesn't have enough burst to kill for a couple more turns yet, so maybe StrifeCro could find a way to piece together enough damage to win. These Darkshire Councilmen can get out of control fairly quickly. So this is going to come down to the wire. This is going to make the... I guess it's going to die, so it's still going to make the Defender of Argus reasonable. And it's going to preserve that extra 1/1.
That's the full Argus value here. He's going to trade with the Houndmaster and push a little bit of damage here. So Brian is looking at Spy. I mean, he needs Unleash the Hounds, I think. But Stranglethorn Tiger is totally fine here as well. But facing down a 5/1 Councilman, like, are you looking at this and thinking, I need to quick shot this right now?
Yeah. I mean, he can, like, quick shot Fiery Bat Hero Power, or just, like, quick shot Fiery Bat, and hope to roll into Stranglethorn Tiger next turn. But 5 mana is a lot, especially on a card that doesn't have immediate board impact. Yeah, a lot of times it could be guaranteed damage, but I think the Rat was thrown off a little bit by this Defender of Argus. I don't think he was expecting that to happen. I think he expected to pop down the Stranglethorn Tiger next turn, get the face damage in, and be able to just close out the game the following turn. Not going to be the case, though.
Now it's looking like he wants to build towards that Call of the Wild and have that be the finishing blow here. And StrifeCro's turns are looking so good. I mean, Brian Recrutate, he may not have Unleash the Hounds in here. It's a possibility. And if he doesn't have Unleash the Hounds, this is going to be extremely difficult to win. He's now the second Councilman is making sure the damage is going to keep pouring on.
Yeah. And he's going to make sure he trades in before he throws down this Stone Tusk board. Make sure that he gets maximum amount of damage. He's going to push 4 or 5 this turn. And he's going to be left with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage on the board. With Leroy Jenkins, that'd be an extra 17.
Yeah, it's 2 turns to lethal from here for StrifeCro. And that's if he chooses to go face every time.
So options here are Infested Wolf and Hero Power. And then if you pick up a burn spell, you win. But I guess if you pick up a burn spell with Stranglethorn Tiger, you win also, outside of a Stranglethorn Tiger picked up. That is 20 damage, I think. Or is it lethal? He gets
to play the Leroy next to it.
Lethal because he can play the Leroy next to it.
Wow, 21? What a draw from StrifeCro. Indeed it is. Got 7 from that and then 5. Oh my gosh, what a pickup.
Holy moly, exact lethal. And the Rat just sort of...
Wow, what just happened?
Yikes.
Like he opened so well this game. StrifeCro life tapped on turn 2 and just the draw pans out almost perfectly for him. Man. I mean, I can't actually think of other than the Possessed Villagers being Argent Squires instead, I can't think of a spot where that draw could have possibly even been better for StrifeCro at the end.
Yeah.
Like, turn 2, of course, he would have loved to play a minion, but the life tap, look, he used exact cards and exact mana. I mean, everything panned out for him perfectly after that life tap.
Yeah. That's a really great chunk from StrifeCro. I mean, some bold calls there. For going the Defender of Argus on turn 4, finding a better play in that situation, tapping on turn 2 when he did have a play to make to try and, expand this game. Really well played and finds exact lethal as a reward for doing that. So StrifeCro now just 1 game away.